This has been a crazy week of mixed martial arts. We've got Michael Bisping as the UFC middleweight champion. We've got Dan Henderson at 45 years old knocking out one of the best middleweights in the UFC. Kimbo Slice passed away last night. I was so sad to hear about this. I was a huge fan. He was such a humble guy, came from nothing. He started fighting in backyards in Miami to becoming an internet sensation, to getting picked up by the Elite XC. He was pretty much that whole organization. When he lost a fight for them, the whole thing went under. He went on the Ultimate Fighter. He fought in the UFC a few times. He was headlining boxing events. He was Bellator MMA's biggest draw. He was headlining fights for them. Had a fight lined up. I'm pretty sure he was going to headline that. I was so sad to hear about that. I was such a big fan. We lost earlier this year Kevin Randleman. We just lost Muhammad Ali. Now Kimbo Slice. They were all icons of the sport. So sad. Uh, Brock Lesnar is returning to the UFC. He's going to fight Mark Hunt at UFC 200. Brock Lesnar hasn't fought, I want to say it's been 5 years. He was going through all kinds of health issues. He lost a fight to Alistair Overeem. He got TKO'd. Hasn't been around since. I know he hasn't been training for fights. And he's coming to fight Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt is so tough. That's going to be a bad fight for Brock Lesnar. Mark Hunt's probably the heaviest handed person in the UFC. Very tough guy. But Brock Lesnar, after just a few fights, he comes to the UFC and wins the UFC heavyweight championship. So you can't tell what's going to happen. That guy's just a freak athlete. He was a Division One All-American wrestler, won the heavyweight championship in wrestling. I'm just going to have to pick Mark Hunt. This is just, Brock Lesnar hasn't fought in so long. He's coming out to fight a guy like Mark Hunt. I think Mark Hunt's going to TKO him. Still very intriguing fight. The striking versus grappler. Going to be a good fight either way. Big time fight for UFC 200 on an already stacked card. We are getting Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 2 at UFC 202. I'm not a fan of this fight. There's so many people at featherweight that needs a title shot. That is a stacked division, and there are some killers out there. You got Max Holloway on a 9-fight win streak. You've got Jose Aldo and Frankie Edgar fighting for the interim title. You still got Chad Mendes out there, and Conor McGregor wins the belt and has just been chasing these money fights and stuff. Hasn't defended the belt one time. He already fought Nate Diaz in a pointless fight. Lost that fight, and now he's holding up his division even longer because he wants a rematch because he lost that fight. That fight means nothing. He was talking about fighting Floyd Mayweather. That fight will never happen. I wish that everybody would stop talking about that. You saw how long it took for Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao to fight, and they were in the same sport. These guys ain't even in the same sport, and negotiations will never come to an agreement on that fight. But Conor McGregor, if he's chasing these money fights, I wish that he would just give up his belt and let these other guys at featherweight get their chance to get the title, because he's not even defended his belt one time, and he's just not even worried about his division. There's a bunch of big fights coming up here soon. We've got great stylistic matchup. Rory McDonald's going to be fighting Stephen Thompson. Huge fight. I'm so excited for that. We got UFC 200 coming around. I will make videos for all those. Subscribe and just keep an eye out for the videos. Let me know what y'all think. Thanks.